You are not restrained by us, but you are restrained by your own affections. But for the same reward, I speak as to children, open wide your hearts too. Do not become unevenly yoked with unbelievers, for what partnership has righteousness and lawlessness? And what fellowship has light with darkness? And what agreement has Messiah with Belial? Or what part does a believer have with an unbeliever? And what union has the dwelling place of Elohim with idols? For you are a dwelling place of the living Elohim, as Elohim has said, I shall dwell in them and walk among them, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Therefore, come out from among them and be separate, says Yahweh. And do not touch what is unclean, and I shall receive you, and I shall be a father to you, and you shall be sons and daughters to me, says Yahweh the Almighty. That's Corinthians, 12? Second Corinthians 6, 12 through 18. I've been thinking about this video for a while. Think I might title it 808's and Heartbreaks. That was a Kanye West album from many, many years ago. Many years ago. That was an album that came out after a very massive breakup that I had. I don't remember any of the other breakups that I had where everything tied into with music, or there was an album or songs or something that really captured the feeling or emotions, or maybe it was just because that album came out at the same time that I was feeling these extreme emotions, being in love, being in a place of seeing a direction of where I planned to go or thought that things were going and they weren't. So that album was on repeat. That would make me think that whoever's watching this, if you ever gone through heartbreak, what album did you or song did you play on repeat and over again, whether it was to get over someone, or that song reminded you of them, or it was just something that you would play to help you forget whatever feelings, emotions, pain about that lost relationship. This initially came to me when thinking about my oldest son, football, and he is coming to the faith, coming to the word, trying his best to live righteously, but he didn't come from this life. I, from the time that he was born until just before I left New Jersey, I was an agnostic atheist. Maybe a year or two before I left New Jersey is when I really started diving back into my faith and rereading the word for myself, getting a better understanding so I could not only lead my household, but as I've always wanted to be for him, is to be an example so that he doesn't have to go through what I went through trying to figure out how do I define what a man is or what does a man do. I wanted him to be able to look at me as his father and say that my dad is a man, not just some adult male that had me at some point in his life and then struggled or was never consistent, never really showed that he cared or loved for me. That was something that I didn't want him to go through. I would tell him that I loved him all the time. I would show him my motivation or my drive, my consistency, my passion for life and all the things that I was doing, trying to guide him and raise him up how he should be to the best of my knowledge. Now, the best of my knowledge was coming from a Christian background and then going into being without a home inside because I I wasn't getting the answers that I needed through Christianity to be able to guide my life. The Christianity was so intertwined with how the world is, the world of things like Sodom and Gomorrah. I was living that life inside of church. I was whoring. I was trying to figure out which way did I need to go to achieve this goal of being able to minister to people. But as I saw all the ministers and pastors, they were doing whorish things. Then the people that I was running with that was becoming pastors and getting their own churches, they were doing whorish things. So where am I at? Now this is way before um, way before football was born. Way before that. So I can't even put that on him or that drive and motivation to be better on him. No, it was on me because I knew one day I wanted to have children. I wanted to be a father. I wanted to be nothing like my family, that no one was married. Everybody was just a mishmash of things, of tons of heartache and decades upon decades of unbalanced household. Everything was always unevenly yoked. I wanted something different. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was until I came back to the faith. So then I didn't bring him into the faith. I showed him how I was living. I wanted him to see, feel, and experience this is what life is supposed to be. You're supposed to honor your family, honor your wife, honor your children, honor your congregation. Have brothers that will go to battle with you, where it's no question about what it is that we're going to do. If there is a problem, we're going to solve it, and no one is going to stop us from doing that. I wanted and needed him to see that. Then as soon as he saw that, that inspired him realizing that there was nothing behind him that came anywhere near close. So he made that decision that he wanted to come out here. He wanted to be with family. He wanted to be with his little brother, his new little brother that looked up to him and loves him so much. But all this was new to him. It's new being in a family relationship where there is a mother and a father and a little brother. It's new to him being around people that are not proclaiming that they that they love the Father, the Most High, Yahweh, but they're actually living it. So that's something completely out of the normal for him. It's something that he had to figure out. But then he grabbed onto it and he started to embrace it. He started to get mentors from my brothers. They started to become his mentors and guide and drive him. And he saw what he wanted to be and do. He wanted to be or wants to be a husband. He wants to be a father. He wants to be respectable in the community. He wants to his little brother to look up to him. He wants to show that he has courage. He wants to show that he can be a true man of Elohim, a warrior of the Father. But he didn't get on that path until he was 20. His little brother was born into this. By the time his little brother becomes his age, this will have been his life for 20 years, not two. It's it is a concern of mine of how do I mend my oldest son's broken heart if that is to happen. If he's to go and find someone and then fall in love and the two of them don't click or there is trouble in their courtship because it's a little bit different now. He understands that once you choose someone to be your wife, you are courting them, you are not dating them. There is a plan that you are going to fulfill. It's not like how I was going through life. Completely different. He knows and understands that. He has seen me dating this one and that one, or even just having random flings. Well, at least I know that they were random flings. Did they know that they were random flings? I don't know. I tried to be as honest as possible with everyone that I came in contact with. So he could possibly meet the right one and then everything goes smooth. There will be those little learning curves during the courting process so that he can he can show her how serious he is. There's been a few that he's been interested in and his heart his heart opens up because it's not I want to smash, I want to just get to know you, I want to do this. No, I'm looking for a wife. Are you going to fit that role? If not, I don't need to be wasting time with you. Which I love and appreciate that with him, but he's going at it with people that don't live this life. That's where the concern and confusion about things come about because they aren't living this life. They don't know what is expected of them before they start that process, that courting process. They know what they see on TV or what their families have done or this or that. It's a, a misunderstanding from both parties. So all that he can do is try and school and educate them because they're unevenly yoked. He doesn't have anyone that comes from this background, or he hasn't met someone from this background yet, which I pray that he would. Or he has or finds a woman that is ready to be mended and molded and brought up, raised up, elevated. Because this life is so easy that it's difficult. That doesn't really make sense, but that's how it is. If you let the Father guide your life, you let go and follow the Spirit, you follow the Word, you are guided by the Most High, everything is good. If you try to resist, you try to fight, you try and go in a direction that you feel as though that you should go on, then everything is going to turn to crap. Now, his little brother, it's going to be a little bit of a different life for him, because he is coming up in this. He's not going to know anything different. He's going to know that there are people on the outside that they do all different types of things, but that doesn't interest him. Or at least I pray that that doesn't interest him. That there are so many females that are being born into this now, that it won't be a question that he has to look outside for a helpmeet. When he was born, he there were so many other babies born at the same time, and the mothers of those daughters were saying, well, we want the chunk to marry our daughter, like almost like an arranged marriage. So there will be plenty of opportunity for him to know who his potential wife is for the next 20 years, and then be able to confidently say, I want to take this woman as my wife, because he has all of this time and knowledge. He can see how she was raised, or how her parents act, or how her parents treated them, so that he knows that that woman is going to treat his children just the same, and is going to raise them up in the way. He's going to have it so easy, so many different choices. But then my concern is for his older brother. Trying to find someone to go on this walk with you be very difficult. It is so much blessings, so many blessings that I had, because I had a wife. Well, I have a wife that was ready to be led. We met in, what was that, 1997, 1998. And at that time, we weren't evenly yoked. She was a devout Christian, I was an atheist. But there was a spark there. So time went on, we went our different ways. I got into relationships here, relationships there. She got into relationships here, relationships there. And then over time, what, a decade plus later? No, a decade and a half. We come back together, still not in this walk, but we're reintroduced to this walk and realize this is where we needed to be. We knew the blessings that the Father come abundantly, but we wanted to reject it because of our simple emotions on the different paths in life that we went down, because those that were teaching the word were not teaching the whole truth. They didn't start from page 1 all the way to the end. They wanted to cherry pick so that they could control the message. And when she and I dove in the word together, that's what started to really blossom our relationship. When we started to follow the laws in Leviticus, that's what healed our bodies so that we could have the chunk. I don't want my sons to have to go through heartbreak. I don't want my sons to have an album like 808's and Heartbreak that they have to listen to on repeat so that it puts them at ease, so they know that someone else understands the pain that they're feeling because their heart is hurting. I don't want that for them. I want them to one day say that, hey, do you want to do life together with someone? And then she says, I don't know. You need to talk to my father. What? Oh, oh man, you need to go talk to my father. What? To hear a story like that would bring so much joy to my heart, because that would mean that they have a massive foundation. They understand how life and relationships are supposed to go. You need to go talk to my father before you can even think about taking my hand in marriage. How the old ways bring comfort and joy. But the stuff that I went through will just put you in a whirlwind of hurt. I'm glad that I made it out. I'm glad that I don't need that album anymore. I could just listen to it for some good bass lines, some good 808's. I don't have to think about those past relationships and wonder, what if this, what if that, what if I would have said this or would have did that. Nothing would have changed. It would have just been a lifetime of heartache and pain. That's not good for anyone. I'm where I'm supposed to be with my wife, with my sons, with my tribe. Shalom.